Okay. Dan who? Dan double you. Let's go. Ow, wow, listen right now. Everybody knows the man that says pow. Start the show, gonna talk some toys. This is for the grown-up girls and boys making noise. Let's start the show. Talking Marvel Legends and the money that we blow. Honestly, look, there ain't no stopping me. Turtles and Joes too, let's do this properly. Need to buy more toys, don't tell my bank. Wasn't me, promise it was Hellfire Hank. Whole who crew, like they made me do it. If it lands at my door, then I best review it. Screw it, I don't usually boast, but I got Rich M, he's here to host. Raise a toast and raise some dogs. This isn't your average show, we're deluxe. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And hello, welcome back to another edition of this live Thursday show where we recap all the news in the world of Marvel Legends, as well as a bit of nonsense along the way. I can't help myself, people. But look, the displays, the figures are back on the shelf. Even the bottom ones, I can't believe it. I've still got like massive boxes and piles of stuff that I have no room for anymore, so I don't know what to do with that. I've even put up an extra shelf. And look, the Turtles have made it. The Turtles are in it. Even the Turtle van. So it's still a work in progress, people. But I'm just keeping you updated. But today we are talking about someone's favourite topic of late, shall we say. Let me introduce him. It is, of course, the co-host, Rich M. Displayed once. Rich, how you doing?
My Madam Web powers are going into overload, Dan, with all these predictions. Oh, I can just see them all. They're all appearing everywhere. Oh.
For you, I put a poll in the chat just to see if our live audience were on the same wavelength, to see if their hype level was on the same as you. So I've put a poll up that says, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you for the Madam Web movie? Good news, Rich. 56% say they're at level 10.
Come on.
And the remaining 41% are also at level 10. Everybody,
yes!
100%.
Everybody's at level 10.
Everybody is excited for this Madam Web movie. There is no escaping the hype. It's real. Rich was just telling me that she's been on all the talk shows. She was Saturday Night Live, Graham Norton, Jimmy Kimmel, all of them. The hype train is real. People are excited. Rich, I'm trying to make out what your T-shirt says. What's the top bit say? Just trying to Just have a little glance there. Can you go full screen for a second? There you go. He was in the Amazon with my mum while she was researching spiders. That's a great T-shirt. Come on!
I know. I just love it, Dan.
I've also noticed there's a poster behind you as well. The poster's there.
The poster behind me, and look on my door over there. Look, it's another one.
The hype is real. Hype is real. Right, let's say hello to some people.
Just a big shout out to Sony, our PR department, who ignored all my emails. I had to get them myself anyway. Thanks, Sony. Thanks.
Where was the red carpet? We should have tried to get in.
It was in London, and Dakota Johnson and the director and the guy who is Ezekiel Sands were there, and that was it. They didn't bring Sydney over. Sydney didn't appear.
If they had answered your emails, they would have at least knew that you had got yourself a nice cutout. You could have took her, and people could have pretended that she was there.
I wonder if there was even a premiere, Dan. I wonder if it was just them standing in front of a billboard, and then they went home afterwards, and three of them.
They walked the red carpet, walked through the cinema, just go out the back door.
We were there. We don't need to watch it again, thanks.
Don't know. Yeah, oh dear. Right, let's say hello to some of the chat. Right, people in the chat are saying they don't want to. They're clearly too excited to get involved with the poll. I'm not excited for Madam Web movie. In good faith, I will not answer the poll. I refuse to take the poll. What the hell is wrong with people? Gatey's Toy says, I'm at 11. Madam Web will beat Endgame records. There you go. Gatey's Toys is right there with you. Mark Rose is also in the building. So is Jamie Gitchard, who I believe is in Paris. I think is at Disneyland Paris. So get back to Paris, Jamie. Don't be watching us. Go and enjoy yourself.
Bonjour, Jamie. La Madame Web.
I think that was hello, Jamie. Here's Madam Web, I think. Jelly Figs, The Bachelor, which is Lorenz. How you doing? Lady Mac. Jay is in the building as well. Says, living the Madam Web dream tonight. Evening all. yeah, Rich is clearly excited for tonight, and so am I. So am I. Some great Marvel Legends that are going to be discussed today. It is Madam Web and female Spider characters. So we're gonna dive in. We're gonna dive in. Dom says -10 for Madam Web, but I hope we get a comic figure. Frozen Pizza says Pole only has a 10 available. That's not true, is it? That can't be true. That would be unfair.
What other numbers do you want? 11? 12? They want 11 and 12, Dan. That's what they need.
That's discriminative. Clearly someone's seen an extra 0 there. Paul says, hello all, DW crew. Looking forward to tonight's chat. So am I. Justin collects. Oh, I've just checked out Justin's recent video where he's just put together a Beetleborg like model kit, but it looks like a Beetleborg action figure in scale a lightning collection. I don't know why these figures haven't been made, but go and check out Justin collects. He says, hello everyone. Why do I get the feeling Rich has hijacked the stream? No. Rich is the co-host. He is a co.
That did email me this afternoon with a suggestion, and I was like, fuck that, we're doing Madam Web the Spider-Man.
He genuinely did say, fuck you off, Daniel. I think that's how he started the conversation today. Was fuck off, Daniel. Dewi says, pal, good evening, Madam Web Appreciation Society. Home dudes in the building. Little Leaf Creations says Pete. He says, evening all. Christopher Allen says, I definitely feel like Rich will do the majority of the talking in regards to today's topic. That's usually the case anyway when it comes to some of these characters, to be completely honest. Lady Max says, Webgate. Jason Lopez, is it Jason's birthday today? I think I've seen on Twitter. It's
Happy
Jason's
birthday, Jason. It is Jason's birthday.
Happy birthday, Jason. The retweeting king is a year older. He feels bad because he's 26, Rich. 20. Remember being 26?
Oh, to be 26 again.
Decades ago.
Oh, so much hair I had. Beautiful.
Arvin says, hello everyone. Happy Thursday. Eddie says hi and pal. Jason Lopez also had the saxes out ready. Hobby says who crew. Mike Hex has just sent me another package via Mike Mail over in America, which should be arriving soon. I appreciate you, Mike. Kurt K, Phil Jones. Phil, I've got Big Mikey. I thought you'd appreciate seeing Big Mike. Let me get Big Mike down for Phil. Hang on. All right, there's Big Leo, for anyone who likes Leo. Very good. I'll put him there with his swords. And I thought it was appropriate to pose Big Mikey with his pizzas. So there you go. Big Mike. I think Phil Jones needs this, to be fair. He doesn't need all 4. He can just get this, and it can be a centerpiece amongst the random Super 7 Turtles he keeps buying. So there you go, Phil Jones. I'm trying to get Tanner to buy Raph as well, because he's not a real Raph fan, but he keeps showing off all these other expensive toys, so I'll let him off. Right, now, I'll put these back.
Do you know what? The Turtles is like a money-making dream, innit?
Oh.
It's like Power Rangers, because it's literally just the same person with different coloured headband and a different letter and different weapons. Like, honestly,
I think another
so much money.
I gravitated towards Donatello as well is because he had the letter D, and I was like, my name's Dan. D.
Yeah, I love the D too, Dan.
I knew. Do you know what? As soon as I started saying that sentence, I was like, where have I taking this conversation? Hey Tim, who's Tim? No, only joking, it's disavowed. Hey, I remember these things. See, now once I have the information, I retain it. I'm pretty good at stuff like that. So hello Tim, which is disavowed. Striden's in the building as well. Super Turk says I'm only hyped for the movie Iron Claw. Well, can you believe it? Amanda went and seen without me. What a bitch. She told me she was off to see a fighting movie.
What a bitch. Oh my god.
She doesn't even like wrestling, right? She moans about it if I have it on in the house. And then she was going to the cinema with her mate to see a VIP screening at Skydome, and I was like, okay, what is it? What are you seeing? And she's like, some fighting movie I don't even care about. And I was like, I scrolled through the cinema listings. I was like, don't have a clue, not a clue. And anyway, she come back and was like, oh, it was a really sad film about some wrestler's family dying. And I was like, the Iron Claw. She's like, oh yeah, that's the one. I'm like, the one I wanted to fucking see. Like, she's been moaning I won't go cinema recently as well. And the fucking, anyway, never mind. I'll go with Tanner. Tanner, it's a date. Let's go. Are you free on the 14th of February? I don't mind double booking and pissing her off.
Excuse me, Dan. What are you seeing on the 14th of February?
Oh, do you know what? It probably would have to be Madam.
Come on, Dan. Come on.
Of course.
How dare you? How dare you?
Right.
Zac Efron over women. What are you like? God.
Right, let's do some housekeeping. Legends and Liquor this week. Unfortunately, I do have some sad news. I cannot do Legends and Liquor this weekend. Amanda brought me some concert tickets. This is just the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. Amanda brought me some concert tickets to Magic Jordan. Does anyone know who they are? Rich, do you know who Magic Jordan is?
Crickets, Dan. Crickets in the background,
yeah. So I mentioned, like, they're on Drake's label and they're just chilled vibe. Anyway, I told Amanda I quite like them and I was listening to their album once, and then now Amanda thinks I'm some super fan and brought me tickets. So like, what can I do? Like, I told the woman I don't want to leave the house, but I suppose I have to go now. So I'm
Are they a girl band, Dan?
No, they're not. They're two guys.
Have they got dance routines, Dan?
No, it's a producer.
I wouldn't know they were there, but I would have that over my head.
Magic. Does anyone in the chat know? Or am I just on my own in this one? But anyway, Amanda brought me tickets for Christmas. It's Sunday, and there's no way I can make Legends of Liquor work. So she's away next weekend. So I'm just going to push Legends of Liquor until next weekend, and then maybe just do 2 Legends of Liquors in a row to just keep the pattern going, maybe. So I apologise, but we have got an extra show tonight if you want to get your toy talking fix, okay? We will be back for Joe's and Juice and Turtles and Tea as well this month.
But wait, Daniel, there is a way people can meet you in person this weekend, isn't there?
There absolutely is. Let me bounce to the screen here. Thank you very much, Rich. See, this
What's that for a segue?
This is why he is the co-host. Right, there it is. Let me press this. So, in-demand toys. You've heard me talk about them all the time. I've been using them for a long, long time. Good people. They are celebrating their 20th birthday, which is very impressive for an independent store. It really is. My shelves wouldn't be as full as they are if it weren't for places like In Demand. And they are in Norwich. So it's like a 3-hour drive for me, by the way, people. So if you are in that side of the country, then please come on down. They've got 20% off everything in store on the day, and they've also got lots of mega deals on the day as well. But that is not all. Someone you may know, he may have an emoji in the channel. Let me find the emoji just to give you a hint. A Hasbro representative will be attending the event with some new Marvel Legend product to display. So these are figures that may have already been announced, but you've never seen them before in hand. They're not for sale yet. So he's going to be there. Yes, it's obviously Brandon. Brandon's going to be there representing Hasbro.
Not Brandon. Whoa, I would never have guessed. I thought it might be me. Oh my God, it's Brandon.
So Brandon's going representing Hasbro on official work business. And revealing some new product. So I'm going to go hang out with Brandon for a little bit and then also check out some new toys because that's always fun. And I will probably end up spending some money as well because how can I not go to a toy shop and not spend some money? Especially if I'm going to drive 3 hours there and 3 hours back. So if anyone is in, it's, what is it, the north, east? It's in the east, yes. It's east. It's east of England.
Mid-east?
No, it's
Mid-east?
more, I guess so.
South?
No, it's east.
South.
It's definitely east. It's Norwich anyway, people. If you're around the Norwich area, I think Shelley, it started with a click. Shelley said she's a 30-minute drive. So I may meet Shelley in person if she comes. But if anyone else is thinking about going In Demand or lives local to In Demand and can get there, come on Saturday, come and hang out, come and talk some toys in person. I'll be there, Brandon will be there. They've got lots of other stuff going on as well. They do, but again, it's just another opportunity to hang out with some toys and people that get it because these opportunities are few and far in between, as we know. So yeah, I'll be there this Saturday. All the details I've put on my Instagram. Of course, you can go to In Demand's website. I'm sure if you're in the UK, you have used In Demand's website and brought yourself some toys, all right? So, yeah, good people there. That's where I will be on Saturday. What will I be buying? I don't know. It's always tempting when you're in a shop full of toys, but that's where I will be, all right? So thank you very much for that segue, Rich. Continuing with my housekeeping, anything over £4 or $4, our talking robot assistant Friday will read it out loud. That's right, you can contribute to the channel and help me pay for my petrol to get to In Demand Toys, and also the robot will read it out. But I do appreciate you. If someone wants to test her out, make sure she's working. We never quite know. She's always in a grumpy mood on a Thursday because her name's Friday. I appreciate you. And hit that join button. And if you do hit that join button at the new tier, the Dan Who Deluxe tier, then you will, of course, be able to be on the show tonight. And because we have no Legend of Liquor this week, this is your opportunity to come and hang out and talk some toys and tell us how excited you are for Madam Webb. I'm sure people are eager and going to be queuing up for tonight's stream now, Rich. But yes, please get on the stream if you're available tonight, straight after this, in about an hour and a half, probably less than that, to be honest. You can jump on the Zoom call with us and talk some nonsense.
Maybe Dakota Johnson would jump on, because I think we've probably talked about it more than any other channel on YouTube.
Look,
you should get muddy for this.
She is doing the PR rounds in a minute, and you did sort of say you were emailing Sony, so maybe we've already given it away, Rich. Maybe we've already given it away. So, there is some Marvel Legends news to talk about this week. Of course there is. That is Spider-Man related. But before we get into that, do you have any new toys this week? Picked up anything?
Not picked up one thing this week, Dan. Sorry. Apologies.
No, I'm the same. I got nothing. I spent all my money on Turtles in January. Now I'm broke. No, actually I did. I got this from eBay. Napoleon Frog from eBay.
Are you going to get the other frogs as well, or...?
No, because they only made one. I think they made one more in the Playmates days. But, I think they made Rasputin, I think. But this is Napoleon. This is the one I had as a kid. Super 7 are doing a version now. And I always think to myself, I'm rebuying any of the retro ones they re-release. So that's what Mike's sending me. He's sending me some stuff on card. But I never had him with all of his accessories as a kid. I'd lose them as soon as I opened it. So there you go. That is the only thing. That's the only thing I've got. And now I've lost his accessory. Now, so it's true to my childhood. True to my childhood representation there. No, I found it. It's fine. It's fine. Tiny glasses. Yeah, there we go. Right, I'll put them there. So that's the only thing I've got. So let's talk about some Marvel Legends then, shall we? There we go. So this week, we had the first piece of Marvel Legend news that hadn't previously been revealed to us, I believe. I think most of the pre-orders that happened this year were all announced in December on that last Hasbro Pulse live stream, and then the pre-orders have been slowly trickling out throughout the month of January. So now we're in February, it's time to reveal something new. And I use the term new loosely, because it is loosely, because it is new, but it's things we have experienced before in the Marvel Legends world. Okay, so let's break this down and get Rich's opinion. I did do a quick video on it where I tried to justify the relevance of this, but it is, of course, the very first Spider-Man VHS 2-pack of 2024. Now, we knew the Spider-Man theme was continuing. That isn't a surprise. That was already confirmed to us. But we didn't know how many. And Dan Yoon has since put out a tweet from this reveal saying there's going to be a couple more. So a couple more plus this one means a minimum of 3. So I'm going to think surely they're going to do 4 again. And that's going to be the same pattern. Do you agree with that logic, Rich?
No, because he said last year that it wasn't going to be all Spider-Man this year on Pulse. So
okay.
I think it's going to change some way through the year.
Let me go to Twitter and find Mr. Dan Yoon. While I have some super chats put up. So that's Damien, use his channel membership token, says, bloody Hasbro Pulse premium for set. I don't think it is anymore, right, Rich? It was only for the first hour.
Only for the first hour, yeah. Now it is for everyone.
Yeah, it was premium for the first hour like they do. It's just their game, but it didn't sell out. Of course it didn't. So if you need it, go and get it.
Like you're looking on Twitter for Selena Vega there. Does Amanda know that? What you been looking at?
I can't even remember
Jamie
why.
Gwitchard donated £5.
Right, Friday's talking.
I'm back from
Good timing,
Paris,
Friday.
only a couple of days away and excited to be back and talking toys with you guys. Also, Tigray.
Thank you very much, Jamie. He says, I'm back from Paris, only a couple days away, and excited to be back and talking toys with you guys. Also, Tigray. We haven't heard Tigray in a while, so we appreciate that, Jamie. I hope you had fun in Paris, and thank you very much for the super chat. Friday is working. That's good to know. And I've remembered why. She came out of the Royal Rumble in some cosplay, and I didn't know what the fuck it was, and I was watching and I was watching Jay's live stream, and Matt and Jay didn't know what it was either. So, I googled it, and no one on Twitter seemed to know what it was either. My conclusion was it was some sort of Overwatch thing, but I never got that confirmed or not. So if anyone got that confirmed, let me know. What was Savina Vega wearing at the Royal Rumble? That's genuinely the reason. Anyway, back to this. Right. Right, where did he say? Right, Dan Yoon said, reminder that we're still able to have some Spider-Man animated looks on the retro cards too, not just the VHS, which is good to know. Good to know, because you know I love my retro cards. But he also says there will be a couple more of the Spider-Man VHS 2-packs in 2024, and the characters might not be in the same episode.
And she's Sindel from Mortal Kombat, isn't she? Just like Google the image. That looks like Sindel, doesn't it? Was that last year's one?
No, that might be a different one. She had like these wings that were all separated. It did look Overwatchy.
Mercy,
yeah,
like
that's what I thought it was. That's why I tried to look. But yeah, see, Loren says I think it was Overwatch related too. So there you go. In the last Royal Rumble, she came out with the big flag and stuff. So she does like the cosplay. Right. Rich, let's get to it, because I've spoke about this, but I genuinely haven't really discussed this with you yet. So it is, of course, Daredevil, a heavily cel-shaded Daredevil, but it is on probably the best Marvel Legend base body we have for these more athletic characters. It is the Spider-Man Renew Your Vows body. We have already had Daredevil on this body once before. He came in the free pack with Electro and Bullseye. So that's the Daredevil. It seems it does come with two heads. I didn't initially realise that, but it does seem to be like a neutral face and a grimacing face. Two sets of hands as well, two expressive hands, and then a billy club that looks like a bendy wire, but I haven't seen that confirmed anywhere, but the pictures definitely seem so. And then it is a Hydro Man, completely transparent blue plastic, but he's still got the pins. It's basically the previous Hydro Man. Now he's transparent blue with a new head and not as many accessories. He's got the foot ones, I think, but not the arm ones, because the last one he had the interchangeable arms, didn't he? So that is your 2-pack, Rich. Now, you got the Mary Jane, you got the Aunt May. Like you were enjoying the VHS 2-packs last year. How do you think they've kicked it off this year? How have they set the bar here?
Well, I think it's the same as last year, because I think last year's weaker set was the first one with Symbiote Spidey and the Carnage, and the Carnage was like cel-shaded. So this is similar to that in that it's two characters we already own, but in different styles. I'm going to be completely honest with everyone now. I really love this Daredevil. Like, not for the VHS look. I know it does look like the animated show, but I like it because it looks like a comic book Daredevil. It looks like a Frank Miller Daredevil, like in the classic with like all the like inks, all the blacks on it. So I really like this as a comic book. Like DC did this line of like Jim Lee blue line art, and it kind of like reminds me of that. So I like this Daredevil figure for what it is. Even though I've got the other Daredevil, I don't really need it. I am gonna get this set for that. Hydro Man, meh, I could give a shit about, really. But it does, that was his powers. He turns fully water. So I mean, if you want ACBA to, like, the fact that it's the same body as the other one but got a new head, I suppose you could like interchange them, or if you're doing like stop animation, something like that, it'd be an easy changeover between the two. But yeah, I would have preferred it would come with something else. Again, of all the lists we've done on VHS Spider-Man, I don't think either one of these characters has ever appeared. So It's really random. It seems like a cheap thing for Hasbro. It's not really much new stuff. It's just reuse. But I suppose as a Pulse exclusive, there's no harm, no foul. Like, I mean, if you miss out on it or don't want it, you don't have to get it. It's not essential. But if you missed out on these figures before, it's a good way to get them. Like, and I like the Daredevil, so I am getting it. If anyone wants a Hydro Man, hit me up.
Yeah, that was the picture. I actually got the picture from the Frank Miller art, I believe, for Daredevil to show the heavy cel shading, and also in the actual animated show himself, he was heavily cel shaded, and I think I've got an image of that as well here. There he is. Oh, there it is. So he was heavily cel shaded in the show. So again, they've done it accurate to that, but it is just creative reuse from Hasbro on this one, but at least they've made it make sense in the format of the VHS set. Again, not initially, I wasn't initially excited, because for me, as after I've just finished this display, it's all about world building. For me now, the thing that's going to get me excited with reveals are completing teams and filling gaps in the collection, or getting upgrade to some of those more popular characters, stuff like that. So I've got a great Daredevil on the display already. As much as I do appreciate the option for people, Daredevil for me is always going to be the all red outfit, I think, for my main display. But I'm a sucker for the VHS Spider-Man stuff. What can I say? So there we go. It is up for pre-order right now. It went up for pre-order today on Pulse. It's a Pulse exclusive, at least for the time being anyway. We know these are things eventually find their way elsewhere, but it is on Pulse right now. It was, like Damien mentioned, it was premium for like the first hour, but it never sold out. So you can get it now if you want it. It's £50 as well. Were the other 2 packs £52 £50 last year as well?
Do you know, I can't remember. I don't think when they 40 last year.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they've gone up a little bit there. I don't know. Again, don't quote me. And I'm not one to harp on about prices and stuff, but I do think it's went up there a little bit. But I do look. Shout out Harry Moore as well, the box art. I don't know if he occasionally lingers in these videos. So if you're watching Harry Moore, I love it, mate. I love it. It looks great. It looks great. And I do
Mary Jane and the Carnage pack are $52.99 in a minute on there. So
okay, ignore me then. Just curious. Little Eve Creations dropping some channel membership tokens. Thank you very much, my friend. He is gifted a channel membership token that was caught by Cedric. Cedric Brown, you are now a channel member. Thanks to Pete, aka Little Eve Creations. He's a good man, that Pete. Dropping those channel membership tokens. Usually it's Greg Finstad catching them out of nowhere. But I think he's got one this month, so I think he's safe. Safe until March at least. And then he'll be lingering again. So thank you very much, Pete. Thank you so much. Okay, so SpiderMan. Let's get into the main topic today, Rich, right? The one that you're actually excited to talk about. Madam Webb. What's the name of this video? Madam Webb and the
Spider Women Most Wanted.
There you go.
No,
okay.
just so everyone, I know everyone's gonna leave after we say this, but just to calm everyone down, right? This is not movie Madam Web. No, we'll save that. We'll save that for another week when this film makes millions of dollars at the box office, right? This is not movie. This is comic book Spider Women and Madam Web figures. So you can all breathe easy, all calm down now. Please don't leave. Please stay. Right? We're doing comic book figures, right?
Come back, everyone. Come back.
Right?
Come back. So yeah, we are obviously just using the Madam Web gimmick.
Sorry, Sydney.
To talk about some Spider female characters. So yeah, we are talking Spider female characters in the comic book realm, and maybe a few of these comic characters have inspired a movie of late, but that's a different topic for another day. Today we are talking comic Spider-Man characters and of course Madam Web as well. Loren says, isn't this about the movie? I'm cancelling my membership. Damn. It's backfired on us, Rich. It backfired.
I did say.
Okay, so let's just get into. Let me get my graphics up ready to go. So let's just start off. So like always, Rich has put together these really nice graphics. We've got 12, I think you've done, Rich, right? 12?
Yeah, we had 10, but there was just 2 we couldn't leave out. So we've got 2 extras on the end.
Okay. Some of these I'm more familiar with than others. So I like learning with you, Rich, and the audience here. So let's just get straight into it. Number 1, I guess this is what's inspiring the actual movie. It is Madam Web herself. But it's younger Madam Web of recent years, right? This is a very modernized Madam Web. Have you read it, Rich? Explain it to the people.
So yeah, this is not Cassandra Madam Web.
Okay.
This is Julia Madam Web. Oh. So this is the second Madam Web. This is when Julia Carpenter, formerly Spider-Woman and Arachne, she takes over the Madam Web identity. So basically, the original Madam Web is killed, and she transfers her powers over to Julia. It makes Julia go blind, and then Julia gets like her precognitive abilities and telepathy and everything like that. So Julia goes from being Spider-Woman to being the Madam Web of the Spider-Man totem pole. And obviously with the Spider-Verse expanding, she's been involved in like all the major crossovers and stuff like that. She's like giving people powers. She's like been with Jessica Drew. She's been with I think Prowler. She was with a bit as well. She's been with a lot of the different Spider characters all over it. But yeah, it's an interesting take on Julia, who I always liked as Spider-Woman. She was the Avengers Spider-Woman. But again, when the last Spider-Man retro carded wave leaked, and I was like told there was going to be a red-headed character appearing. It turned out to be Hallows Eve, but I thought, maybe it might be Julia. That's where my mind went to. There was going to be like a recent character. So I mean, she's key to the Spider-Man line. We've obviously had Julia in her other costumes as Spider-Woman, most recently in that Avengers West Coast box set.
Yeah.
But obviously with Julia appearing in the Madam Web film, might be more call for her. So yeah, that's Sydney Sweeney. She's playing Julia in the new film. And interesting enough, Julia is being called Julia Cornwell in the new film. And people were like, why did Sony change the name? That's so stupid. But actually really good, Sony, because in the comic books, Julia is Julia Cornwell before she marries Mr. Carpenter, and then she takes his name, see? So they've done their research for Madam Web. Look, they've been reading the comic books.
Someone at Sony
it's all going to be okay, guys. It's all going to be okay.
So, in regards to making this a Marvel Legend, I guess they could do this sort of simple trench coat look, but it would be like the plasticky Marvel Legends way, where it would be a bit Traffic Coney style. But I'm assuming this, from your synopsis there, this is something you'd like in your collection.
Yeah, because I just think she's like a key character in modern day Spider-Man comic books. Plus, Julia Carpenter, like I said, she's been around, like, debuts in Secret Wars, been part of the Avengers West Coast. She's been everywhere, so she's a great character. And it's nice to get different looks, because Julia has more or less been quite a standard. The Spider-Woman costume has always been hers. I mean, Arachne, she had kind of like a bigger spider logo on it, but otherwise, she's always been like the black and the white costume.
Does she have that same costume underneath the trench coat? Like, why the trench coat?
They've never really shown it, and it's just like I think it's just like a black leotard. So I don't know if it is the Spider-Woman costume underneath it, but she hasn't flashed us yet. Dan, we're still waiting for that. Who knows what she's got under there? I think it's just like a black unitard, though. That's what I reckon it is.
Well, I do think it's something that Legends could do, to be fair. I do appreciate my red glasses today as well. I appreciate that. I look very cool. Thank you very much.
Dan Webb.
Dan Webb. Yeah, she looks good. And again, good way to start off this stream. Madam Web and the Spider Ladies. And yeah, Julia was Madam Web for a time. I don't think she still is. But
yeah, no, still is. Yeah, they haven't brought back. Obviously, when the movie gets so much money, they're going to bring back the original one. But for now, it is Julia.
It always comes back around in comics. Always comes back around. Right, next up. Now, this is Spider-Woman, but it's a Matty Franklin Spider-Woman. You're going to have to explain this one to me.
So Matty Franklin is the fourth Spider-Woman. So it goes Jessica Drew.
Yeah.
Then it goes Julia Carpenter.
Yeah.
Then you've got Charlotte Winter, who was Spider-Woman for a tiny bit. She was the evil Spider-Woman and also the niece of Madam Web. And then fourth one, you get Matty, who is the niece of J. Jonah Jameson, I think. Yeah, that's right.
So is this like a most prominent costume as well? It looks like a female version of the Iron Spider.
Yeah, so basically with Matty, Matty's storyline is, her comic book is absolute shit, right? I would not recommend her volume of Spider-Woman. It's a terrible storyline by John Byrne. John Byrne took over the Spider-Man titles late in the 90s. Really, really bad, universally derided run of Spider-Man, and he introduced this new Spider-Woman. So basically, there was a gathering of the five. Five people got together, and they granted a new Spider-Woman powers. Charlotte Winter originally stole those powers. Dr. Octopus intervened to give her those powers, and then the five brought them back and gave them to Matty. So basically, Matty's got the powers of all the Spider-Woman before. So she's got the wall crawling and venom blast from Jessica Drew. She's got super strength from Julia, and then she's got these psychic legs which come from Charlotte Winter, the third Spider-Woman. So they psychic spider legs. She's got 4 of them. So in her run, she's a teenager. She's a really bratty teenager who was she didn't really want to be Spider-Woman. She was just given these powers without any training. So it's kind of with great power becomes great responsibility, but with a twat of a character basically. So it was kind of mirroring Spider-Man, but with a bratty 90s kid rather than Spider-Man who was honorable and everything like that. So basically, her run, she gets about 7 different costumes, more or less every 2 issues, because she doesn't know what she wants to be. She ends up like that. So this is her final look, which is a look then throughout the Marvel Universe. And she ends up deciding that she doesn't want to be a hero anymore. She joins the Loners for a bit, which were in the Runaways, where all the ex-heroes joined together because they didn't want to be heroes anymore, but they still wanted to be a gang to try and stop being superheroes. But then she turns up in Alias with Jessica Jones. And then she becomes a hero a little bit longer, and then she dies in there's the Great Hunt. One of the Craven's daughters kills her to bring back their long lost sibling. Comes back as a lion. It's all a bit weird. But Matty dies, and yeah, that's it for Matty. Then she's no longer Spider-Woman. She is dead in the 616 at present.
Yeah,
I
appreciate that. I did not know. I've not come across her.
There we go.
That I've read.
That's the Cliff Notes version of Matty Franklin. You can go back and read it all. I wouldn't recommend it. She does get much better after her series ends. So I think does a big way of like redeeming the character. The Jessica Jones storyline is quite good with her as like this failed Spider Woman, and then Jessica Drew comes back with her, tries to help her a little bit as well. So yeah, she becomes a good character, and then she dies, as most good characters do in the Marvel universe. But she has stayed dead. They haven't brought her back or anything. But yet again, she's another character who is in the Madam Web movie as well, appearing for the first time on the big screen before Jessica Drew. It is Matty Franklin. There we go.
That's mad. Yeah, that's mad. I was going to say when I first looked at the character design, it does look like a mosh podge of different designs merged together, and obviously explaining it, that makes complete sense. It's surprising because Legends throughout the years have always threw in like an odd random spider female character.
Yeah.
Do you know, like we got Spider Bitch, we got the Spider Woman with like the maroon outfit, we've got the black and white young Spider Woman. Like, so this is the type of thing that I think is in Legends wheelhouse, where they could throw out something like this, maybe not with the legs, maybe that's why they avoided it, but you could see them doing this costume because it's just a repaint of another female, isn't it, really, with a new head. So she's got the wings like Jessica as well,
and they are psychic legs, so she doesn't always have them. They like appear at will type of thing.
Yeah, so they could.
So it would be easy enough just to do like a plain body and just release it.
But just think, they released a superior Dr. Octopus Spider-Man without her legs, and that's a main part of his costume design. So I think they'd be willing to do it. She'd make a fun. She's very toyetic, undoubtedly. I think she'd make a great looking figure, whether the character's any good or not. I do like the Iron Spidey figures that we have. Both the movie and the comic ones are pretty good. So a female version in figure form would be pretty cool. Good to know. I like learning through this because, again, I did not know about the fourth Spider-Woman. And if you didn't know, now you do, thanks to Rich. Even Jay in the chats. Rich on fire with his Spidey-Woman knowledge. There you go. All right, let's get into it then. So there's our second pick for Marvel Legends. Now, this next pick I can definitely get behind, and it's a brand new one as well. It's Jackpot. Now, if Rich has taught me anything, you have already taught me that this is Mary Jane Watson as a superhero, right?
That's it, and she's like the newest character. We've got obviously Mary Jane's now, but this version of Jackpot debuted only like last year, in August of last year. And yeah, it's a powered up Mary Jane with superhero powers.
And she got a roulette on her wrist.
That basically, so what her powers is, she's got this magical bracelet that basically it spins and gives her like random powers. So when she gets like 777, that's the jackpot. That's when she gets it. But there is a chance she could like spin it and like die as well. So it comes like risking it. It's like a mystical thing. So yeah, so she spins it and she just gets like any powers. It's like a random power that she gets. Obviously, there's been jackpots before. So there's been two versions of jackpot before Mary Jane, like a couple of years ago now, but 10 years ago. And obviously, with there being jackpot and a girl with red hair, everyone assumed it was Mary Jane back then. And it wasn't. It turned out to be these like random characters. The first one ended up selling her powers to another girl who was like misused them and died. And then she like took them back and had like a bit of a redemption arc. But it wasn't the greatest character. It's much better, I think. And I mean, with Gwen Stacy being Spider-Gwen, like I think so many of Spider-Man's girlfriends have got powers. Why not give MJ powers for a bit? So it's a weird storyline in that MJ's got kids, she loses the kids, and then gets this. It's a bit weird going on currently in Amazing Spider-Man. But I do like this design for MJ. I think it's quite a fun design. And it's an interesting because I think with MJ, because she is like a civilian character who looks quite boring. So I think we don't tend to get as many like action figures of her, but this is something they could do. Is something a bit quirky, something a bit different, and we could get this character, I think. And they seem to like the modern day. They seem to be pushing that a bit more. So if we get like Hallows Eve, this is not too far after Hallows Eve debut that Mary Jane became Jackpot. So I could see this showing up at some point.
Yeah, no, this is in the Legends wheelhouse all day long, and you're not wrong as well. Legends occasionally, especially in recent time as well, throw out modern designs in the comics in Legends form because, of course, I'm sure Marvel themselves are telling Hasbro, oh, we're about to focus on this character and make a figure of them. Chasm and Hallows Eve are two that come to mind that only debuted a year or so ago, and we have their figures already. And MJ is, you could argue, is more popular than them as a character already. So I love the name Jackpot for her. It makes sense for Mary Jane, and I can understand why they put the two together. I was unaware about her little roulette wrist cuff there, though. This is in Legends wheelhouse. Again, it's a female female body, new head, few new tool pieces. It's doable. And yeah, Legends do like throwing in the odd sort of new character. So yeah, would be interesting. You say she debuted like last year?
Yeah, it was the most recent one of Amazing Spider-Man. I can't. Mike Hex probably knows.
She's got her own like run now, though, right? She got her own miniseries now.
She's just started her own her own solo series has just started. I think it's on issue 3 at the moment. But yeah, it's like pretty good. But it was Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6, issue 31. There you go. I just looked it up for you.
There you go. Now you know. Now I know. It was a ruse at first that it wasn't her, but yeah, it is her now. Pudding power, he also says. Jay says that 777 is his lucky number. Jackpot yogurts, whatever happened to them? I can't even think what they are. Do you know what they are?
No idea. Yeah. I don't like a yogurt. Not a fan of a yogurt, to be honest with you.
Not a yogurt guy either. Not a yogurt guy. Literally all of them except the midget girl got powers. Annie Marie didn't. She's like the only one who hasn't. Says Mike. And he's on about the Spider Woman.
The girlfriends of Peter.
Yeah. Loren says this design is fun. I like it. Yeah, it is fun. This does look good, and I like MJ as well as a character. And like Rich said, it's always interesting to see some of those more well-known civilian characters have a go at being a superhero after being a civilian in this world for so long. Why not give them a little run? It was revealed in the dark web story that she had powers, says Mike. There we go. So there it is. MJ, this is Mary Jane Watson with her new powers. Jackpot. And it could be a Marvel legend. It could be. I'd reckon it would make a pretty decent one too. Next up, Green Goblin. Now, initially, when I
Queen Goblin.
Yeah, I was going to say, she isn't very green. Yes. Sorry, we're on a Spider-Man talk, so my brain went to Green Goblin. Queen Goblin. So, Queen Goblin is not the Goblin Queen Madam Pryor, right? I'm not getting that confused.
No, they've just done this to confuse all you dyslexics out there. That's what they've done. But yeah, she's a completely separate character, Queen Goblin.
Okay, Queen Goblin. Help us out.
So Queen Goblin, again, she's quite a new character. She's Ashley Kafka, and she is a clone. She's not the original Ashley Kafka. She's not even the second Ashley Kafka. She is the third clone of Ashley Kafka. Okay. So Ashley Kafka was a psychiatrist in the Ravencroft, home for the criminally insane, kind of like a Harley Quinn type character. But she was killed. She was cloned by the Jackal, I think it was, cloned her.
Yeah.
The second clone then...
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, that disintegrated and went away. And then Norman Osborn found a third clone who he brainwashed into being his servant. Then in comic book nonsense, she got merged with the sins of Norman Osborn, put together, and then transformed into the Queen Goblin. Because that's how sins work. You just give them to someone else and they become a goblin. She's basically like a Power Ranger, right? Yeah. So she's normal Ashley Kafka. So she does her transformation and she literally just turns into this Queen Goblin. Her glider comes down, she's got a big mace thing, and they all just appear out of thin air. Like magic comic book nonsense, basically.
Magic. Look, it's comics, isn't it? We'll allow it. Yeah, again, not one I'm familiar with, but it's a cool looking design. Again, very toyetic. I always look at these designs from a toy perspective, would they look good? And yeah, of course it would. We haven't had any female goblin characters as such yet. We've got the Hobgoblin, Demo Goblin, multiple green goblins. We even got the Carnage Goblin, which is Norman Osborn still, if I remember correctly. So yeah, this is a red scaled skin goblin with gold and black armor, big mace. This would be a great action figure.
Yeah, and I think with, like you said, it's a green goblin, so she'd come with a glider as well. There has been other female goblins. So we've had Menace in the past and we've had Kindred. But at the minute, she seems to be, as the Queen Goblin, she is the queen of all the goblin ladies at the moment. She's the one that seems to be pushing, seems to be appearing. So she's fought a lot of different heroes as well. I think her weapon, her mace with the jack-o'-lanterns on it is quite cool. And she would be a good figure to get. And obviously with that psychiatrist background, she's kind of like Harley Quinn, that version, Yeah. She works with the insane people, but she's secretly working with them because she wants to be part of their little gang as the Queen Goblin.
Yeah, and again, as I said, none of those female goblins do we have in figure form. No. So yeah, no, she looks good. She looks really, really good. I do like this character design actually. I think it would make a great Marvel legend. Paul says that Jackal puts Mr. Sinister to shame when it comes to cloning. That's very true. That is very true. The Jackal. I've read, what storyline was it where the Jackal literally clones all the dead heroes? They all come back. I can't remember what.
Oh yeah, Matty Franklin comes back in that as well. Like we just said, she was dead. She comes back. Yeah. Madam Webb comes back for a little bit. I remember
turning the page on that panel, and it's like all of the dead villains are there because he's been cloning them in secret. I think that was with what was the guy's name? He looked like a pharaoh. Oh, what was his name? Zodiac or something like that, maybe. Can't remember his name. Ignore me. I can picture him in my head, but I can't think of the name.
Sphinx?
No.
That was a Nova villain.
No.
Ramatat?
No, it was in it's obviously SpiderMan story, and the Jackal was working with him, and it was revealed. And it was the Invincible Spider, the Amazing Spider. Oh, never mind. Ignore me. Someone in the chat will tell me. I try and be clever and give you some knowledge of a comic I've read, and I can't remember any of it from it apart from I've read the comic. Right. Next up, Firestar. Now, again, this is the Firestar I know, Rich, right? As in the Spider-Man and his amazing friends, Firestar, that character in a different costume. So what's the costume from? Because this looks cooler than her yellow one.
Yeah, so this is 90s Angelica. So this is debuted in the New Warriors, but this ties into Spider-Man because this is the costume that she had in Maximum Carnage, which is, to me, still the greatest of all Spider-Man crossovers.
Okay, yeah.
Like, Age of Apocalypse is the best X-Men one. Maximum Carnage is my favorite one. So it's basically Carnage gets all these villains together. They have to, like, fight and, like, do everything. And basically, Spider-Man and Venom end up, like, bringing in these heroes who can, like, fight them. And obviously, Angelica, because of her powers, like fire and like solar flares and everything, she can affect the symbiotes. So she becomes key to defeating Carnage and all the clones, all the symbiotes and everything like that in Maximum Carnage. She appears in the SNES game. She's one that you can an assist character. You can have help Venom and Spider-Man as they're fighting all of Carnage's gang. But yeah, it's a really great character. I mean, we had two versions of Firestar now, but both in a classic yellow look. Yeah. But I think of all the random, they chucked an Electro in the Spider-Man wave. Like, Firestar has much more place in a Spider-Man wave because, like you said, she debuted in the Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends animated series. She was a Spider-Man character first, and she's always been like tied into that world, like through the New Warriors, through working with Spider-Man in Maximum Carnage. Like, she's always been kind of like part of Spider-Man's like allies type of thing. And this is like a great look to get. And like, I mean, we've started building up the New Warriors in other looks now as well. So it'd be great to have her in this one. Like, this 90s look would build up that 90s team of New Warriors.
Yeah, I've read Maximum Carnage, so I must have seen her in that and just completely forgot. But yeah, it screams 90s, the costume does anyway. And I can see the New Warriors. I got money in the bank. Doom Customs. What's Friday's? Friday's going to read that out. Thank you, Doom Customs.
$50. You guys are amazing. Traveling and can't stay. I'll catch the replay. Dan's head has never been on so many boxes.
I've run out of words to say to Doom Customs. $50 super chats a time is absolutely insane. He is a legend. Doom Customs, thank you so much. You travel safe wherever you are traveling. I know you're working hard, my friend. He says you guys are amazing. Traveling can't stay. I'll catch the replay. Dan's head has never been on so many boxes. I'm assuming he's talking about my head on these Marvel Legend boxes. That's true. Rich always rebrands the Dan Who logo to match the theme. It's those little details. Last time I was a live action Dan on the figures and I didn't even notice until Jamie called it out. So Doom Customs, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend. Always legendary status on this channel. Maximum Carnage is my favourite Spidey crossover, says Cloud. I think Mike might agree with that. Yeah, Mike's dropped a super chat, says everybody from Maximum Carnage, let's go. Mike just wants a Maximum Carnage wave, and I don't think it's
they
the
could
other
do
yeah,
they could do a Maximum Carnage wave because it's like they've never done a Carrion figure, like they've never done Shriek in the look from Maximum Carnage, and then
she's
obviously
got the bigger wilder hair and shit, isn't she?
Yeah, and like one leg and the big boots is out, and like big boots and big boobs, where you go, everything. But yeah, it's a really good character. And you get that like the Demo Goblin as well.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Maximum Carnage. Again, I'm sure you would not be the only one. Those character designs are a lot more stylized as well. So yeah, that would be interesting to see. Maximum Carnage, something I've actually read, winning, says Jay. So yeah, big win for Maximum Carnage. Did you recognise this Firestar, Jay, from Maximum Carnage instantly when it popped on the screen, or did you need to jog your memory a little bit? Right. Next up, Lady Octopus. Now, when someone says Lady Octopus now, my mind goes to the Into the Spider-Verse because that's who was in that, right? But that itself was based in the comics. Now, is this 616 or is this some sort of alternate reality?
No, this is 616, this Lady Octopus is. So yeah, this is not the same as the Into the Spider-Verse one, but I think it kind of like inspired that one a bit.
You can tell, yeah.
So this is Carolyn Trainer. She was like, she's not even like a recent character. I know everyone's like, oh, everyone gets like a female version now. What is it, Rule 63 of the internet? But this is like way back in the 90s. So in 1995, in Amazing Spider-Man 405, this is Carolyn Trainer. So basically, Kane, the clone of Peter Parker, kills Dr. Octopus. And for a time, Carolyn takes over as Dr. Octopus, now known as Lady Octopus. This is a cracking looking figure. And years ago, Craig Warwick did a really good custom of this figure. Amazing custom of it. Go and check that out. And I've always wanted this figure. And in recent years, she's, again, I think, obviously with the Into the Spider-Verse and that female version of Dr. Octopus, she's kind of like appeared back into the comic books again. Like, obviously, I've said before, my favorite Spider-Man has always been Ben Reilly. And in the Ben Reilly run, she's one of like his big villains. She is the Dr. Octopus of that run. So I've always loved Carolyn, and now she's back again. She's got like a bit of a different look. I like this look better than her current look. Like, she has got a more modern look as well, but she's basically got 4 tentacles like Dr. Octopus, but they can fire lasers as well. They're not just like gripping them. She can like fire at her enemies. And then there was like this band of heroes, the Female Beetle, brought back all these like different versions of like the male Sinister Stick. She kind of like established her own version with the female version. So Lady Octopus was part of that with her and White Rabbit and some other characters we might see in a bit as well. But yeah, this would be a cracking look. She's very 90s, but again, a female Dr. Octopus is a way to reuse those tentacles on a female body.
Again, looking at it from a toy perspective, you cannot deny this wouldn't be toyetic, especially if they did the bendy wires decent. The bendy wires we got in the recent Doc Ock, the comic version at least, were pretty good. I did struggle a little bit with the MCU version, but this would be a fun looking action figure. And again, because the female Octopus is in the Spider-Verse, I know they're not the same character, but that concept of a female Doc Ock is just in more of the sort of general consensus, so I think people would be more open to it in figure form, even if they didn't or wasn't aware of the comic origins. But yeah, I like it. I like the character design here, and it would make a good looking action figure for sure. Jay says in the chat, basically, if it's not random wrestling knowledge, my memory always keeps jogging. So it's safe to say he did not recognise that Firestar costume. And then Bachelor says, I've not read that story. I'm a fake fan, really. You're not a fake fan. There's so much things. You can't read everything. You genuinely, I've not read everything. I've read less than 10% of everything that's out there. I guarantee you that. Probably less than that. But Maximum Carnage is one I've read because it's one of the big Spider stories. So if you can read it, you should read it, I think. That is one I would recommend.
I think it still holds up as well, Maximum Carnage. It's again, like AOA, I think that holds up as well, so.
Yeah, maybe I need to revisit AOA in my older years. Maybe I'll find a new appreciation. I've got a whole box. This box here is all the AOA figures. They've just been retired from the display for the time being. But I literally have a box. Solid representations of the characters as well. Some good figures in there. I just ran out of room.
You've even put Blink in the box. Put a Blink.
Blink's in the Age Apocalypse, though, right? That's correct.
But that's like Exile's Blink, that one is. It's got the different hair. You could put it on the shelf. Put a Blink.
I could, I guess.
You put one Wild Child. Wild Child's got that look in House of X. You put him with your House of X figures.
I know, but I like how he pairs up with Sabretooth because I get him on with the chain and stuff. So anyway, maybe I'll find some space. Maybe I've still got room. maybe. Anyway, female Doc Ock, Lady Octopus would make a great looking figure for sure. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, it's another lady female. Is this what you were alluding to, Rich, with that
This,
female?
this is
Sinister
definitely
Six?
what I was alluding to with
Yeah, I
like,
see what you're doing
let's just
there.
make a female version of the Sinister Six. So, unlike Lady Octopus, Electro is still Electro. She doesn't even get a new name. She's not Mrs.
She's
Electro.
not Lady Electro.
No, she is just
Ah.
Electro. So this is Francine Fry. But spoiler alert, she is another clone of the original Francine Fry. So Francine Fry, her name gives this away, but she was like a superhero groupie, a super villain groupie. So she loves super villains. She like tried to like harbor them, keep them away from safety from everything. And she took in Electro when his like powers were malfunctioning. And then she tried to sleep with Electro. She kissed him. He was like, my powers are all over the place. Don't kiss me. She kissed him and he fried her. He literally fried her and she died. But then the Jackal brought her back. And he, because of like the way Electro, how she died, when he brought her back, their powers kind of like mixed together, and she started absorbing the powers of the real Electro. So because he fried her, she kind of like killed him. She took his powers, she took the Prowler's powers as well. She was just absorbing everyone's, and then Jackal made her this suit and made her into a new Electro. I think the old Electro eventually came back, but for a time she was the Electro in the Marvel universe. And again, she like turns up in other places. She's been in the the SpiderMan, His Amazing Friends, the kids TV series. She's in that. She is the Electro in that. But yeah, it's an interesting look for an Electro. We've had a lot of Electro figures, but never a female one. So why not? Innit? Why not, Dan?
Yeah, we haven't had too many Electro figures. We've had a couple in the modern Marvel Legend era, one on the retro card, and one in like a Build-A-Figure wave. But never had the female. I remember reading a Spider-Man comic once, and then I got to the Electro turned up and it was the female Electro, but I was unaware there was a female Electro. I didn't know what happened to the previous one. I clearly was not caught up, and I just remember being really annoyed, going, "Why have they turned Electro into a female?" Like I didn't understand why. And but I remember finding her. So she's appeared even in modern comics, because if I know about her, then she's still lingering. Francine Fry name just reminds me of Calamity Jane. Yeah, if I ever have a kid, I'm definitely going to name him with a superhero-sounding name. Like Will Williams.
Will Williams.
His middle name will be William. Will Williams.
Will Williams.
Just gets longer as it goes. Yeah, that's what. What would you name your child a superhero name?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't want people to know what the M is?
No, I don't. Everyone knows what the M is anyway.
Okay,
Morgan. It could be anything.
It could be
couldn't
Morgan.
That could be a boy or a girl, couldn't it? Morgan. There we go.
Morgan. Matt Morgan. That sounds like a superhero name. I'm Matt Morgan, and I am Electro. Yeah, there you go.
You just call everything by my brother's names, don't know.
Is that what
You're not calling me Chris, you're calling me Matt. Oh, my older brother. Well done.
I'm pretty good at that guessing game.
Definitely not a superhero. Definitely not.
Danielson. It says Northern Nomad. No, Danielson's took, I'm afraid. And that's not my second name either. It's got to be the barrel name. Give me in the chat. Give me your superhero. If you had to name your kid a superhero name with the double barrel, give me some examples in the chat. I'll read them out. That should be funny. But yeah, Will Williams would be mine. That sounds superhero-ish. All right, cool. Lady Electro. So I'm assuming Lady Electro and Lady Octopus were in that evil female Sinister Six. See,
yeah, the Syndicate, I think they were called.
Oh, I like it. I like that. See, so Legends could give us like a little female Spider villains box set. So they could give us all these recognizable Spidey character villains. But
they were called the Kindred. Form. They should have been called the Syndicate. They were called the Kindred. The Kindred. There we go.
I like the Syndicate. Mike Hex has just written his own name, Mike Hex. Mike Hex doesn't. I don't know if Mike knows how to play this game. See if anyone else does. To be fair. Right.
Who hexed?
All right, Mike Hexed. Harry Hexed. There you go. That sounds like a super villain. See, I'm doing your job for you, Mike. It's Mike next Hex. Kiara wants a little baby boy called Parker. Now you got to fight about whose name they're having. Because Amanda's second name is Doyle.
Parker Toys Collection UK doesn't go though, does it?
No, Parker Toys Collection UK. Cheeky Monkey Parker. That sort of works, I suppose.
That works, yeah.
Yeah, it does actually work. I already have a cool name, says Cloud Foxwell. Cloud genuinely does have a very good name, Cloud Foxwell. That must be a good piece of ID to get out. Cloud. My name's Cloud. First time I heard the name Cloud was Final Fantasy VII. That's how I knew the name could be a cloud. Or the name Cloud. Thank you very much. Yeah. Always wanted to ride a chocobo. Still haven't done it. Still haven't met one. Okay. Let's keep going then. Next one. So how many we got? Oh, okay. Okay, let's keep going quickly because we're still on this female villain theme pipe.
This is the last one because the other three members, there's basically Beetle and White Rabbit we've already got, and the third member is a version of like the Trapster, but she's not very good. So we've skipped her because she's more or less just like a normal superhero. So we'll go with Scorpia, who is a female version of the Scorpions. So she's got the Scorpions. Yeah, I know, surprisingly. She's got the Scorpions original tail. Now again, like Lady Octopus, she shows up way early in the 90s, in like 1994 in SpiderMan Power of Terror issue 2, where she's got a much different look. She's like a mercenary working for Silvermane. But then, like, again, she comes back in the 2000s in this look. This is like a Terry Dodson version. I don't think Terry Dodson designed the costume, but he draws the best females. So that's why I went with this picture of Scorpia. But it's more sexy, more sleek look. She's quite more like punk rockerish in the original look. But I like this one a lot better. Again, there was a female Scorpion herself, Camilla, who was like a hero version, like a teenage Scorpion. She didn't have a tail. She just had like Scorpion powers. Her mother turned out to be like a supervillain. But this Scorpia would be a great character to get. Like, it looks quite good. And it would build out that box set as well. You could do a box set of them. Give us a new White Rabbit, an all pinless White Rabbit. And then she can get back in the Who crew, maybe.
Look, you could give us a box set with Lady Octopus. Where have they gone? Lady Octopus. A Lady Electro, even though she's not called Lady Electro, you get my point, and Scorpina, and like people would be familiar with the character, like the concept of these villains, but it's just a female version. That's all you really need to know if you didn't want to do your research. But yeah, I like this character design. To be fair, it works probably better on the female. Yeah, I prefer the female character design, but that's probably obvious.
And Northern Nomad and Gatey's Toys both say about She-Ra, yeah, the Scorpia in She-Ra is much, much better than this one. But we already got a Scorpia figure from, I think, Mattel. From Matty Creations in their Massive Universe Classics line. I've got a Scorpia. So yeah, let's get a Marvel Scorpia. They can put Marvels in front of it on the packaging. There we go. Yeah,
very good. Big Will's give us his kid's suggestion name, Robbie Richards. But Big Will, you've got a kid. So why didn't you name him? Why didn't you name him that?
Robbie Roberts.
Yeah, Robbie Roberts. My bad. No Queen Pin or King Pina, says California Red Devil. Now I don't know if he's making them up, Rich, or they're actual characters. Queen Pin and
Rule 63 of the internet, Dan, there is a female version of every male character out there. So I'm sure somewhere there is a female Kingpin and a female... What was the other character he said?
King Pina.
Queen Pin. King Pina.
Oh, Queen Pin, yeah, like a female version of the Kingpin. Batman Batman Moran, of course, jumped into the name-talking conversation because, yes, Adam's actual name is Batman. I don't think anyone can beat that. Definitely the most superhero name so far. Craig says Samson Smith. Yeah, Smith. S could work for sure. Can't forget Octavia from She-Ra as well, says Damien.
The Octopus lady, yeah.
See, female.
She-Ra had her own Sinister Six going on, didn't she?
Yeah, indeed. I'm sure like all these different places were taking inspiration and ideas from everybody. That's why it says Marvel's on certain boxes. It will say Marvel's and then character name because these names are not owned officially, etc. Okay, so that you said that's the last of this sort of trio of female versions. So we've got Lady Octopus, Lady Electro, and Scorpina, Lady Scorpion, essentially. Next up, hidden in the shadows, you can barely see. This is the type of character design that Marvel Legends would fucking love, by the way.
Oh, this is the 100%. We've gone to SDCC. We've spent all the budget for the year. We need a new figure. Let's make Dusk. That's what this is.
This is definitely the zero of a future wave, isn't it? Or something like that. It's like, what character? We need a cost budget figure. What can we do? And someone walks in the boardroom and slams down Dusk and go, done. So yeah, I could see. The sad thing is, I could see Dusk happening more likely in Legends
before anyone else on this list.
These, and that's no disrespect to Dusk as a character, but just in regards to making a toy, that's the corners that Hasbro like cutting. But Dusk, what can you tell us about Dusk, Rich?
So Dusk is part of the Slingers, the first Spider-Man team book out there. So basically, in the 90s, Spider-Man and Peter Parker went through all these different identities. He had different suits trying to like run from his people, identify him as Peter Parker. So he had a Ricochet suit, he had a Prodigy suit, he had the Hornet suit, and then he had this one, the Dusk suit. So the Dusk suit, basically Peter wore it first. So you can do a man version of this as well, and a female version, both actually acceptable characters, both could be used. And it is just a plain black suit. It was basically Peter could like hide into like the night sky or the shadows, no one would see him, and he had wings that would glide. That was the only. There was no powers to this suit. Obviously, Peter had his Spider-Man powers, but the suit itself was unpowered. So basically, it was the Blue Marvel, but it turned out to be, I think, Mephisto. It gave these 4 kids the suits to give them powers. Now, obviously, Hornet is the one on the left. He's got wings, so his suit had powers anyway. Prodigy, his suit has got powers anyway, so like he was okay. Ricochet was a mutant, so he had his own powers and he had discs that he could put on. But Cassie, who was given the Dusk suit, she didn't have no powers apart from those gliding. So basically, as initiation to become the Slingers, they all had to like jump over this like huge building in that Slingers issue 0. That's where they debuted. So they jump over there. And all the other ones make it, and Dusk falls to her death and dies because her suit has no powers. Even though she should be technically able to glide,
the one she was that can glide.
She couldn't do it, too far, and down she went. So then she was like resurrected, came back, and obviously when she was resurrected, she had like all these like mystical powers. So then she could like go into the shadows, she could teleport, and then she started manipulating the Dark Force. Like, there's lots of Dark Force users in the Marvel universe. And yeah, it's a weird character, but I really love the Slingers run in the 90s. It's only 12 issues, never been collected, but recently the Slingers were brought back, and I think they got good characters, good character designs, and they've showed up in the Spider-Man books, Avengers books, all over the place, all over the years. The other characters use more than Cassie. I would say out of the 4, Cassie's probably the least developed. But Cassie is the only female, so she makes this list. And she's also, like Dan said, literally the easiest figure you could make in your life. You haven't even got to do eyes. You haven't got to do any sculpting at all. It's just a black female with some gliding wings down it. It's nothing at all. It's so easy.
Yeah, like, honestly, I think a Slingers 4-pack, and the chat agree. Cedric says the 4-pack. California Red Devil says Slingers 4-pack, please. Like this is a very nice 4-pack as well, because it's like a very isolated team, isn't it, that you can't really put them anywhere else, and you've already got the cost-saving figure of the wave built in with Dusk, so they can spend a little bit more on the other character designs. But there's definitely reuse potential here with some of these other costume designs. But yeah, I think that'd be a very maybe an obscure pack to the more general consensus, but if you're a 90s comic book reader, I think people would really like this in their collection. I'd absolutely like to add this to a collection, but I'd be annoyed if Hasbro released one, because we know it's going to be forever before we get them complete. So I'd rather them wait and give us the pack, give us the actual set. Amazon love box sets. Give it Amazon.
My only thing is, I could see them doing, rather than a Slingers pack, they could do it as a Peter Parker pack, which means we get a male version of Dusk then, because essentially all these costumes were Peter's costumes as well. So it's not like Spider-Man doesn't change his look that much. He has alternate things, but he's never had new identities like these ones were. So essentially they could do like identities of Peter Parker pack, and then you'd have those 4, those 4 like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they were in any of the recent Spider-Man games. I cannot remember. But I wouldn't put it past them. But
I think, are they unlockable in the Spider-Man 2? Is that where this is from? From Spider-Man 2?
I've just clipped the designs, but this definitely has this. This definitely looks like it's pulled from some sort of video game, doesn't it? So yeah, it could be. But But yeah, they again. I'm just scrolling through images now, and they're very toyetic for sure. But I like completing teams, so we need to get more than one. But as Rich said, today's list is all about the females in the Spider-Verse, and Dusk absolutely makes that list. Even though you can't speak about Dusk without speaking about the Slingers, and they look really good. Again, screams 90s. Even the cover screams 90s. How many issues did you say? You said 12.
Well, only 12 after this one. It was cancelled pretty quickly and never been collected in a trade paperback as well. Really good run. I really liked it. I would check it out if it's on Marvel Unlimited, I'm not sure. But go to your local comic shop. It's probably only like 50 pence an issue. It's like nothing major happens in it. Probably the most expensive issue is this issue 0 because that's where these 4 characters debut. But otherwise, it's not too bad to get.
Hang on, I'm just checking the little website I use for reading comics and seeing if it's on there. Is it? Yes, it is. All 12 of them, Rich.
There you go. You can read those after, Dan.
Look at that, people. I can read them
Maybe don't show the illegal comic site. Maybe not a good idea.
Sorry, I'm pressing buttons. I don't think that's illegal. No, it's not illegal.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I was unaware of that.
Buy comics, people. Don't use dodgy sites like Daniel.
All right, I spend all my money on toys, people. All right, I spend all my money on toys. Right. I doubt if I went to Forbidden Planet tomorrow, they're going to have Slingers issue 0 for me. I'll give them a ring in the morning. I can try my luck. Right. Let's keep going. Okay. This I think this next pick would be very popular. We've definitely discussed this before. This we thought was happening at some point as well, and then it never happened. It turned out to be a different version. So, but this is one that I think people want. The chat would agree with me. It is Silk, but first appearance Silk. Cindy Moon Silk. We have had 3 Silk Marvel Legends, I think. 3. We had one in the 2-pack. The most recent one, probably the better one, is in the 2-pack with Doc Ock from a couple years ago. And then she was picked again as a re-release from the sort of fan vote. That was in that same fan vote as White Electra, who we have since had, and also Lady Sif, that we haven't had that colourway yet. And then she was also... what was the first release of Silk? Was it in a wave? What wave was it in? I can't think.
Rhino? No, it wasn't Rhino.
No, it wasn't Rhino.
It was early though. It was an early.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So we had that. She was popular. That's why she got picked to be for a re-release. But then they re-released her again completely. She's on the pinless Shriek body, I think, with that really nice sort of bob haircut, isn't it? So
yeah, in the Spider-Man anniversary line, she was in, wasn't she?
Yeah, it was the Amazon exclusive with Doc Ock. Either way, as we're saying, there has been 3 previous Silks in Marvel Legends. So if they're going to do another Silk, we don't need that costume. Let's give us her first appearance costume. So she was locked up in that basement. And then when she eventually escaped, she had to create her own costume out of webs. So this would be very toyetic and is very unique for Silk as well. Like it's very recognisable as this character design. This is one you'd absolutely want in your collection, Rich, right? And do you see Hasbro ever getting to it?
I don't get where the controversy with this costume has come from in recent years, because in my opinion, this is the best version of the costume that Silk has ever worn. I really like it. Like, I know people are like, oh, she's naked under there, but she's not. She's wrapped in webs. It's not like, what's the difference between spandex? Like, it's literally just like skin tight, and she's got webs wrapped around her. So like, I don't agree with that. Oh, she's naked. She's not naked. She's got webs wrapped around her.
Ain't we all naked with just
we're
layers?
all naked, Dan. Exactly.
We're all naked with just layers of clothing on top. She's naked with some layers of web. It's just what is wrong with the world?
You're like RuPaul Blair. But anyway, yeah, this is Silk like that. But I think the controversy comes with this is Silk in this costume. She was tied to Spider-Man. Like, her pheromones went on. She was just like in love with Spider-Man. She was there to just have sex with Spider-Man.
They were horny for each other. Yeah, Peter was
had
gutted
lots
about
of sex.
Peter was not happy about it. I heard. I only joking.
And it was something that they kind of ignored now. Now that when they meet each other, they're not just ripping each other's clothes off. They are just like friendly with each other. So they like dialed it back a bit. So I'm guessing that's why this costume wouldn't be done because of that, because it reminds them back to that. But then last year, Funko Pop did a Funko Pop of her. So I'm sure there's hope out there for a classic looking Silk. Again, we've had every other Silk uniform now. So the only other one they could do is this version of Silk. And I think she is one of the, like, of the Spider Women who are not called Spider Woman, she's probably like next in line. Like, I mean, she's supposed to be having a TV series come in with Amazon, I think. Sonia developing him. So, you know, Sonia developing it's got to be good. Look at Madam Web. It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah,
can't wait for that.
The reason I don't think Hasbro are doing it is because it's going to take new tooling. Like, because of the way of the costume design is, they would have to do the web sculpted. I think they couldn't just paint. They couldn't just put white paint with white. Like, they'd have to sculpt this to do it justice. So I genuinely think it's more of a. It's not that Hasbro wouldn't do it. It's just they don't want to invest the money to tool this brand new sculpted torso and arms and legs, because where else would they use them then? In the library, do you know, like it would be a one and done. So it's a bit more awkward for them to do logistically. I genuinely think, again, that's just me brainstorming. I could be completely off, but that's what they make me believe. Yeah, I would like it though. I completely agree with Rich. It should be done. Yeah, she got her powers the same day as Peter Parker did, and then she was kidnapped and locked away and all of that. That's Sydney Moon, isn't it? So, and she did.
Yeah, by Ezekiel, who is appearing in the Man and Web movie. Look, there he is. There's Ezekiel.
Was he in the Amazon?
He was. That's why. Yeah, he locked it up and then went to the Amazon with the mom.
Yeah, he put it in the basement, then went off to the Amazon. She's teased in the PS5 games as well. I'm just naked, says Bachelor. So he's watching naked. That's fine. So
there we go.
Clearly hot where he is. Yeah, California Red Devil agrees with me. Everybody is naked under their clothes. Look, that's just a fact. It's just a fact. Stating facts here. But yes, I had a couple of hits in the chat. Stryden said absolutely hit. And Mike said naked Silk. But Mike, you're naked under your clothes as well, all right? Stop exposing yourself. Right, let's keep going. Spider-Woman. Now, have you picked this, like, sort of, not old time, but a more old school version of her on purpose? Or do you just want a new, updated version?
I just want him with the hair. This is what I think of this version when I think of Jessica Drew.
This picture, that was all. It's all good.
So this picture was picked because it was the one that didn't have a background on it, so I didn't have to edit anything. That's why I went with this version of Jessica.
Clever.
I would love a new. Like, I mean, last year we had two versions of Jessica, who to me is Spider-Woman. When I think of Spider-Woman, I don't think of Julia. I don't think of Matty Franklin. I think of Jessica. Jessica in this look as well. I think it's an iconic costume, like Spider-Man or Superman or Batman.
This
like,
is my
when I think of Spider-Woman, yeah, it's just like it makes no sense. It doesn't look like a spider, but it suits Spider-Woman. It's red, it's yellow. Really impractical for hiding out as like a spy, but it just looks really good. And I think Jessica with her long flowing black hair and her wings spread out as well, and the yellow and the red is just the greatest look for a Spider-Woman. I love this look. I'm glad she's gone back to it in the comic books. It's a shame last year we didn't get an all-pinless version of this, because obviously we got the black version of Jessica from that costume that she had for like 4 issues. Then we had a re-release of the Thanos wave Jessica with the Varanki head in a Skrull 2-pack. Again, they could have updated that onto the new body. Julia Carpenter got an updated on the pinless body in last year's West Coast Avengers wave. But the best Spider-Woman, Jessica, she is more than deserving of being updated. Even I would go as far as to say being on the Black Widow body, give her like that hyper-articulated body. She's definitely a character that we need. Like Spider-Woman in this costume with maybe like new sculpting, new head, maybe some material wings, because the only problem I would say with that Thanos wave figure is that the wings are, you can either pose her up or you've got to have her with the wings folded. There's no in between. So some material wings would look great. And is this the 1 week you haven't got Jessica out?
Yeah, can you see me
for the last 4 weeks?
4 weeks I've had her on my desk and I'm like, where the fuck's she gone? I don't even know where she is. So I've got two. You're right. I've got the Thanos wave one on display. And then I've got the other one, who I didn't really want to display as the Skrull Queen. So I kept it as I was going to put it as another Jessica on my Avengers sort of display. But she's not there, and I can't find her. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll find her. Jessica's missing, but don't worry, I'll find her. But yeah, I completely agree with everything Rich says. She's a character absolutely worthy of a redo, as they've just been reusing that same body since 2016, and the wings never stay in exactly right, and the articulation is limited for a Spidey female. Again, the Spidey females need just as much articulation as the male Spider-Man characters. So yeah, I think I reckon it should be a great pick for the Black Widow body being reused, because we haven't yet got one, right? We have yet to get the Black Widow body on any other female character.
No, nothing's been announced yet so far. So there's got to be something, because they've said it's being used on something else this year. So there's got to be something coming along.
Yeah, I think should be a good candidate. Whether it happens or not, that's a different story. And they do occasional small soft goods. Like we got these sort of skirt piece, if you call it that, on Hawkeye, so we can sit down on his Sky Cycle. We've got like the collar piece with Doctor Doom. Again, only a few examples. We did get the lab coat with Beast, so they can do it when they want to. But would they do it here? I don't know. I think I'd prefer that actually to the plastic versions, because they just fall out all the time and it's just awkward. So yeah, maybe they'd probably do the Storm material though, which isn't the best either. So yeah, I know, that's how I'm thinking they'd do it. Not saying that's what I'd want. If they can find a way to do it right, I agree. But yeah, we need this character design in an updated female body. We haven't even got one with double jointed elbows, for God's sake, you know. So
no, the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man.
Yeah.
How do they do the wings on him?
Well, I'm glad you said one that I do have right next to me.
Way.
So
he's got the plastic ones.
Yeah,
right?
he's got the plastic ones, and you get two sets. One that are sprayed out, and then these are the folded down ones. So you can have him standing there. It doesn't look like he's got anything, but then they're actually attached to the back. And I dropped these on the floor and spent like half an hour crawling around on the floor looking for them. And that's why he's right here next to me, because as soon as I found him, I was like, right, get in the box, you. So there he is. But yeah. So yeah, but these ain't great either. These are a bit fiddly too. So yeah, need to find a better way. But I've got both of these versions now. I've got that one.
Dropped another one. I hope you haven't got wings. Right,
I'll be back in half an hour.
The after show's gonna be fun.
Fucking no, I found it. I've got it. Look. This is an example though. They just fall off. I did drop them, to be fair, but they're not very sturdy. My point is, they re-released it with the exact same wings, so pretty fiddly. But you can see both sets there, like sort of scrumpled up ones and then open sprayed ones, but they're not great. I think the Mezco done that version of Spider-Man yet, or Mezco have definitely done a Spider-Man that's got the sprayed out wings. I think someone in the chat who collects Mezcos. Jay's probably got it. Jay, is there a Mezco with sprayed out wings? Or am I making
Jay would like a Mezco version of this Jessica Drew. There we go.
There you go. I think I've seen Tom post a picture of the new Spider-Man as well recently, so one of them can tell me. Okay, next up and last. I think she's last.
The creme de la creme of the Spider Women.
Yeah. So you have sort of capped. You started off this list and ended this list with a Madam Web, but you made them wait until the very end to give the people the Madam Web, which I think is what people want. This is the one people want, surely, including yourself, right, Rich?
Yeah, apologies, Julia Carpenter. Apologies, Dakota Johnson. There's only one true Madam Web for me, and it's old lady Madam Web with a blindfold on, sitting on a throne with loads of spider legs. This is, I think, the Madam Web everyone wants. Whether you read the comic books in the 90s or whether you watched the animated TV show in the 90s, voiced by Stan Lee's wife, this was the version of Madam Web that I think everyone fell in love with. This was the gilf we all wanted, Dan, wasn't it? Our first love was this Madam Web.
Yeah, I guess she was a gilf, yeah. Where's let me get this cartoon image up as well. 90s cartoon. What did we get? Something just popped up on screen. What was that? Eric Stream dropping channel membership. Thank you very much. That's him and Keith today. Thank you so much, Eric Stream, dropping a channel membership. That got caught. Good catch by The Latch. The Larch? Am I saying that right? The Larch? The Larch. That's a name I haven't recognised. So The Larch, he must be a lurker. He must be a silent lurker that we have just uncovered via the channel membership token. So Air Extreme has caught a lurker.
Caught him in the web, like Madam Web, Dan. That's what we did. There we go.
So we know he's watching the Larch. Whoever you are, the Larch, you're watching, and you've just been gifted a channel membership for watching. So thank you so much, and thank you for being a lurker. I appreciate my lurkers too. You don't have to type in the chat if you don't want to. Just your presence alone is appreciated. But yes, I agree with Rich. This has to happen this year, right? If Hasbro usually like releasing movie-themed characters while they're in the zeitgeist, don't they? They usually do it. Like, that's why we've got those 2 Captain Americas this year in comic form, because we assumed there was going to be a Captain America movie. So with the Sony films being planned, like, that's why I wouldn't be surprised if we got a new what's his name? Craven or something like that. Yeah. So Madam Web has to be on their radar. Has to be. Again, she's another great potential for the animated show as well. But they have mentioned this year we're going to get a rider. Now, I know she's not riding anything, Rich, right? I'm just reaching, all right? But she is sitting on a throne with spider legs.
Give us some wheels and you can have them like pull back, wind her up, and off she goes.
I'm just reaching. I don't know. I'm just reaching. I would like, do you know, like they've done a couple of deluxes in the past. We've got the Mojo. We've got the Modoc. Like, how about you switch it up and do a deluxe, bigger character that's sitting on a throne? Because she doesn't need legs, does she? She just needs a. She does.
My only thing is like, if we're going to see her anime, I would guess it would be in the animated VHS line, because she kind of is, like, she's kind of like Spider-Man's mentor for like the later parts of that season. Like, she comes in, gives him tips, like sends him like to different universes, that kind of thing, sends him like on these like adventures. So she is kind of like a big character, even bigger than she was in the comic books in the animated TV show. And I think that's where a lot of people's love of the character comes from, the animated TV show. Yeah, exactly.
It's like the first MCU, the first Secret Wars I ever seen was in this show.
My only issue with this is, if she was to come in a VHS 2-pack, would it be Madam Web figure 1, Madam Web's throne figure 2? Is that how we're gonna get it, like, type of thing?
Do you know what?
Because you couldn't fit it in as one, could you?
But would you mind it? Would you mind? Like,
I wouldn't. I would absolutely buy it.
This is what I'm saying, and I think anyone who wants a Madam Web would be on that page. I think if people would understand that you can't get 2 figures because you need to have her throne, and you can't get Madam Web without her throne. So, like, chat, you're watching live now. Do you agree? If one of the VHS box sets wasn't actually a 2-pack, but instead was just a straight up Madam Web in a box with her throne, would you be happy with that? Like, would you still be like, £50 is pretty steep, but usually those deluxe packs anyway are. Like, I think Mojo and Modoc were around £40 to £50 when they first came out. I think both of them hit the sale eventually, like, but everything does. But yeah, I'm with you, Rich. If this was a VHS, I would. My personal selfish preference for Madam Web would absolutely be animated. I'd take a comic as well, but I'd prefer, my choice would be animated. This exact look and that exact throne. And I understand they may have to scale the throne down a little bit for the sake of fitting it in a box, but as long as it's a decent representation from the show.
The other way they could do it, though, is obviously, because from the waist down, Madam Web wouldn't need to be articulated. It's just like a long, like, train dress. So they could do it with like a more basic figure. So, like, I think I said this, let's when we did it. Let's, like, Stan Lee, when he shows up in the animated TV show, he's literally just in a shirt and trousers. There's no like, they've got enough shirt and trousers bodies out there. They could do an animated Stan Lee. And even though, like, they technically don't appear together, but they do actually have a line together. But, like, it's his wife in real life. So it would be, I said that, it would be like a nice fitting send off to that line to do Stan Lee and his wife together as Madam Web.
Dan Yoon has already shut us down with that one because these characters are not going to be in the same episode. And I think Stan Lee was in one of the episodes. He's jumping around the multiverse and stuff. So, but yeah, Madam Web. And there you go. Craig agrees with us. Jace is going to need a bigger box, so I assume she would be a deluxe Mojo style. Tac says the VHS recorder set, Madam Web and Throne. People have been saying they want that recorder, which I think is a stupid thing, but still. Queen Comics says it's Salsior, Dan and Rich. Excelsior to you, Queen Comics. We appreciate you as always. Or do a Build-A-Figure Madam Web in a wave or and a thrown Build-A-Figure, says Craig. Interesting. Again, not something I don't think Hasbro would be against. They have done Build-A-Vehicles in the past or Build-A-Wings in the past for Vulture and Falcon Cap America. So yeah, I don't know. I just want this version. I don't care how they give it to us. Like, whatever you need to do to make it happen, because this will be a missing piece in my collection if I don't ever get it. Because like Rich said, my gateway into all things Marvel are these 90s animated cartoons. And she was a big part of that. Again, before MCU was even a thing, these characters were jumping around these cartoons with the same voice actors, the same continuity. And it was a magical thing. So like, the MCU was cemented in us subconsciously way back then. That's why we love it so much now. So yeah, I want Madam Web in this exact look, please. And like Rich said, doesn't need to be articulated from the waist down. So even if the waist is stuck to the bloody chair, I don't care. It would be good to remove her so we could have other people sit. Hank would love to sit in that chair, for example. I'm just saying. But I'll take it any way we can. But there we go, Madam Web. So there you go. We started our list with a Madam Web and we ended with a Madam Web. Now let's get into the movie Madam Web figures. No, not really. No movie Madam Web. We don't think there are any movie Madam Web figures, for the record.
But they should be. They should be, for the record.
Yeah, Jesse Falcon shut that one down on Facebook groups, and we can have to just believe what he says.
Brandon got a job in Hasbro for this show. Maybe I could be the new merchandising person for Marvel. Just not? Make Dakota Johnson figures all day long. And Sydney Sweeney.
So far, the track record of the Dan Who co-host is 100% going off to move to work for Hasbro. That is the statistic facts of previous co-hosts. That is a fact. Every previous co-host of the Dan Who Live has went on to work for Hasbro after they're gaining their experience and knowledge of the toy industry via this show. So, yeah. So
there's hope for me, Dan. I better get my seat to be updated, and
yeah, just everyone just got off and works to Hasbro. Slowly, just everyone's doing my bidding behind the scenes. That chameleon best happen on punching Brandon in the face. I might see Brandon tomorrow, ask him if chameleon's happening, and if he won't answer me, I may just beat him up and just leave. It'll be worth the 3-hour drive. I'll take a Sweeney figure, but she better be accurate, if you know what I mean. It says Gnomeski. I know what you mean, Sweeney. Oh no. Yeah, there she is in the background. Right, I keep dropping these. I'm getting distracted. Right, put those wings down. Home Dude. Thank you very much, Home Dude. He says, there are Madam Web figures coming. GameStop told me yesterday. Now,
what?
At GameStop Big Liars.
Is it Funko Pops? It's probably Funko Pops, isn't it?
Home Dude. We know people. We're pretty clued up on this.
We don't. No one tells us nothing, Dad.
We know everything. No, we know everything. We can just let everyone know. We know everything, right? Everything.
What if that's what they revealed in In-Demand Toys? The Madam Web. Oh my God! I will be crying that I didn't attend if that happens, Dad. Exclusive reveal.
I'll FaceTime you. I'm pretty confident there's no Marvel Legend Madam Web figures coming. Not from the movie, anyway. Not from the movie. Maybe it's a Madam Web figure coming to Marvel Legends, but not associated with the movie. But yeah, I want to know who your source is at GameStop. Action Figure Quest has become a super producer. Pow! Thank you very much, Action Figure Quest. That's a brand new name as well. Jumping straight to the super producer tier, which I definitely need to jump more on board with, which I'm well aware to my super producers. But that's amazing. Action Figure Quest, who are you? Name yourself. Yes, please name yourself. I would like to thank you. But yeah, brand new name, jumping straight in at the super producer. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, do you recognise that name, Rich? It's not a name I recognise. Do you know who that is?
No,
not a clue.
Idea.
Not a clue.
A new member. It's a new member.
Well, I appreciate you, Action Figure Quest. Make sure you make yourself known and get involved in the channel. Always like adding new faces, especially ones supporting what we do here. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, Rich. It's been fun, but let's get out of here. I know you got prep to do. Let's just look at the poll before we get out of here. All right, let's have a look. The poll, the question was, quite simply, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you for the Madam Web movie? 62% say 10.
Oh.
The remaining 38% also say 10. That's 100%. 100% of the chat said 10. So everyone's excited, Rich. Everybody is very excited.
I will, if you find me next week, Dan, I will, of course, be watching Madam Web next week. Opens here next Friday. But in the USA, you lucky buggers, it opens next Wednesday on Valentine's Day. So please tweet me how good the movie is so I can, like, in anticipation for Friday, because I can't wait. I can't wait till Friday. So I want to know all about it, please, on Wednesday.
Well, we'll be streaming on Thursday. So
everyone can spoil it for us like they did the Marvels movie. That would be amazing.
Yeah. No one in the chat told me Beast was appearing at the end of the film. That was disappointing.
Well done to everyone who was going to watch the Marvels on Disney Plus this weekend. Spoiled it for him now, Dan. Spoiled it for him.
Look, as soon as it's on Disney Plus, it's fair game, all right? Fair game. Right. Madam Web figure set says, Uncage. No. We just need comic versions. Right, we're getting out of here. This Madam Web, she's taking over. Look, she's all over Rich's room. Look, for God's sake, move your head, Rich. There she is. The poster's there.
Everywhere. I'm telling you what, I've done better marketing than bloody Sony. Look, everywhere. That's all I talk about is this movie to everyone.
Everybody who goes to Rich's room leaves that room wanting to see the movie, and they don't even know why. They leave
literally
that room.
Thousands of people down.
Everyone's like, I really want to see that movie now. What? Rich has got me into it. Right, okay. Rich, tell the good people where they can find you online.
You can find me at Displayed Once on Instagram or in the cinema every week watching Madam Web trailers. But next week I'll be watching the real thing. I can't fucking wait.
Is that the only reason you're going to cinema so much at the minute? Just to see the trailer? You've seen every film.
Madam Web trailer.
You must have run out of films to see at the minute. Seriously.
Oh, I was glad Argyle came out this week because it was something new to see. It was struggling.
Oh, was it any
It's like that. I liked it. I didn't know. I read the reviews after, and the reviews were quite bad. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film. I thought Henry Cavill was good in it. I thought what's her name from Jurassic Park? Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah, I thought she was really good in it. And yeah, she's like an action hero now, isn't she? She's like the new action hero going forward with the Jurassic World and now Argyle.
No, I look forward to seeing it. It looks like a good cast, and it's just like it's like a spoof, not a spoof as such, but like a spy sort of vibe, right?
It's got some twists in it. I would say that the trailer makes it look like something else.
Interesting.
There's different things to it, and if you're a fan of the Kingsman, stick around. I would say that.
Oh, I was gonna say it's got Kingsman vibes. So that okay. So that it does have Kingsman vibes.
Like the MCU definitely keep seated. Keep seated when you think the movie's ended, right?
That's pretty cool, actually. That makes me more intrigued to see it. They should definitely promote it more in that regard. Right, Rich. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Again, no Legend of Liquor this Sunday. I do apologise to my channel members. I will make it up to you with a double Legend of Liquor, as I will just move it to next week and then still do another one the week after. Amanda's away, so I could do something. I could do like a later version or something like that to try and accommodate on a Sunday night, but then I might piss off my UK friends. UK guys, you're all fine for streaming at 1 a.m. in the morning, right? Everyone fine with that? Good.
Do an inner circle. Could do an inner circle next weekend. Amanda's not here, you see, so I've got the weekend. So on Valentine's Day weekend, is she with her other boyfriend?
No, she's here until Friday, so she's here.
Oh, so she's here on Valentine's Day. Okay,
so she's here to get her presents and go. And then she's buggering off. She planned that on purpose, so she knew she could get her stuff. I said to that earlier. I said, "Do I really need to buy something for Valentine's Day?" And she just looked at me like there's that evil stare, like, "Yes, of course."
I got told I'm getting ham.
That's great. It's a great present. Who doesn't like ham?
A tray of ham. What's that? I'm very upset with that.
Teddy would fucking love that, by the way.
I'm not Teddy. I'm a real person.
I'm a real boy. All right, Pinocchio, go and eat your ham. Right, we're getting out of here. We're off to the extra show. Remember, me and Rich continue this for an extra half an hour on the extra show. So if you're watching us now thinking, well, I want to keep watching, you can just come to the extra show. You just have to show a little bit more love to the channel, upgrade that channel membership, and you can be on the show and talk to us about the stuff you're going to buy your missus for Valentine's Day, or your other half, or whoever it may be. Get involved. We're heading over there right now join the channel membership, the Who Crew Deluxe, and you can be on the show. And then, yes, I'll think about what I'm going to do next week. But I will stream next week and make it up for a missed Legends of Liquor and make sure I race some ducks, absolutely. But thank you, everyone, for watching the chat. Thank you for everyone supporting, as you usually do. Word of the day, Rich. Give them a word.
It can maybe ham. It's ham. The word of the day is ham.
I might just say Madam Webb or something after today's whole stream.
We've done Madam Webb. We've done into the hams. Let's go with ham. Ham!
Okay. If you have watched this stream in its entirety, if you're watching live right now, go and write ham in the comments, all right? Not in the chat, in the comments. The algorithm likes that type of stuff, all right? And it's also just a little nod to say that you've watched the stream, which I appreciate, is all right? So we're off to the extra show. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Write ham in the comments right now. If you're watching this video still, what are you doing? Where's your keyboard? Pick up your keyboard and write ham, okay? Done. H-A-M. I can spell that word. And click that video. And that one. Both of them. Put one on your watch list and watch one now. That's how you do it, all right? I'll see you next week on Thursday. That's usually when we're here.